Hi, I'm Donna from Donna B Astrology,
And I'm Lynda from Scullywag Astrology.
and today we are talking about the horoscopes for Cancer for the year 2023.
Yep. So if you're a Cancer ascendant, this is the video for you. If you're a Cancer sun or moon, you can also listen, but we recommend that you read the ascendant sign. And we've got a video that explains why that's the case, why you're better off to listen to your ascendant sign, and we'll link that below. And we're going to share
Fantastic.
screen and run through what's happening for Cancer for 2023.
We're going to start with the malefic, the two malefics, and the first one we'll be talking about is Mars, and Mars has been in Gemini for the last few months, and it will get out of retrograde on January 12th, which will be nice. And it will end its shadow period around March 15th. So Mars is one of the malefics. It's in charge of separation and bleeding and cutting, in charge of iron as well as aggression and action and drive. So the Mars has been sitting on one section of your life, and it's going from your 12th house, and it'll move into your first house, and you will notice the shift right around then. It's been in your 12th house for a long time. You've had a lot of either introspective work that you've been doing, or maybe retreated, to us to be more alone for these last times. And then now it's going to be more in your first house, which is going to give you a little bit more drive.
Yeah. Mars's energy, pure and simple, amongst other things, but with it in the 12th house of rest and retreat, and particularly, it's been in Gemini for like nearly 7 months, or it will be nearly 7 months by the time that it ends. When it moves into Cancer by the 25th of March, it will have been about 7 months it's been there. It's been there in Gemini since the 30th of October. So you might have been feeling like really low energy at this time. Once it goes into your first house, you should notice a distinct shift in that energy. When it does enter that first house, I mean, Mars in Cancer, it's not a strong sign for it. It's a sign of its fall. So Mars isn't exactly strong in Cancer, but at least it will be moving on from the 12th house, because the 12th house is one of the more difficult houses. It's places of confinement like prisons and hospitals or monasteries. It's our undoing as well. So maybe aggression, haste, speed, impatience. These are all kind of subjects that we associate with Mars. Maybe those have been your downfalls over the past 6 or 7 months. We have had that retrograde, which meant that you haven't been able to move forward. Nobody's been able to move forward because we've all been dealing with Mars retrograde. But in your 12th house, not being able to move forward, maybe Mars retrograde is supposed to teach us patience. I'm not entirely sure. But, maybe that's something you've been learning over the last 6 or 7 months. It's going to move into your first house. You might just need to watch that you're not too aggressive. It can be, I think, when Mars is in your first house, it can be really easy to come across first and third as well, because third is communications. It's very easy to come across as more aggressive than you realize. And with Mars in a water sign, it's emotionally driven. So something to be aware of. But Mars, it's only going to be in Cancer for 6 weeks or so. It's going to move through the other signs. We're not going to go into the other signs. Because it's been in Gemini for 6 or 7 months, we just wanted to let everybody know it's coming to an end. You're going to get free of whatever you've been stuck and frustrated by. It's going to move into Cancer. And we just wanted to cover that. Yeah.
It'll be moving from your 12th house into your first house. So that's going to be more directly, you're going to feel that more on you than I think even in your 12th house, because it is the house of you, of yourself. And with Mars there, I would suspect some action's going to happen.
Yeah, well,
Some kind of.
what we talk about too is like all the planets, even the malefics. The malefics do have their good qualities, and the benefics can sometimes have their not so good qualities. With Mars, it can be courageous, it's drive, it's ambition. So, this is a good time to, plow ahead on what you want to achieve. If you can kind of curb that perhaps tendency to maybe appear more aggressive than you, um, yeah,
Want to come off as.
yeah, if you can kind of channel that, like, the first house is also appearance. This might be a great time to get into a new sport or take up some sort of physical activity, burn up that energy. It's also, you might come across as quite courageous at this time, ambitious. Yeah, there's ways to use this energy. And when I think of Mars and I think of using up that energy, it's just use it physically, do something,
Very good advice. Very good advice. And then the next malefic that we will be talking about is Saturn. And if you are born at night, this affects you more.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to go from Aquarius and it's going to move into Pisces. And Saturn has been in Aquarius for a couple of years, and it stays in a sign for about a couple of years, a little bit longer than about 2.5 years.
Mm.
That Saturn is in a sign, so it's not gonna traverse the chart, but it will go through these two signs for you. Um, the first one where it's going to start off is in Aquarius, and on March 7th is when it moves into Pisces, and it's not going to be in its sign where it has rulership, so it's going to have less authority to do what it wants, but it still is going, Saturn is the planet of no, it's also the planet of rules, it's the planet of good foundation and good support. It can also have to do with elderly people. They might come more into your life, but yeah, this shift will happen around March 7th, and it'll go from um it's from that house of rulership to not have that rulership that it normally does.
Yeah.
And um yeah.
Yeah, Saturn, they say, it's those rules and limitations and restrictions and that. Eh, If you've kind of, do the hard work, though, they say that when it leaves a sign, it can often give you a gift sort of thing. So Saturn's been in your eighth house. It's been there since it looks like March 2020. It did retrograde back into Capricorn, a couple of times or once, and, but in the eighth house, you might have been dealing with restrictions to do with joint finances, other people's money, loans, taxes, superannuation, inheritances. So, this could have been like having to, just make sure that everything's done exactly right. Maybe you've had to become more responsible regarding shared resources and finances. Maybe this is a time where you've kind of faced your mortality and realized, well, yeah, I'm not going to live forever. I need to make provisions for after my death, get that will done, all those sorts of things. And it's going to move into your ninth house. So this is an area of your life where, yes, there might be some restrictions and limitations, but yeah, this is a chance to grow and become more mature and more established. So the ninth house is higher education. It is overseas travel. It's foreigners. It's beliefs, other cultures, the law, publishing. So matters to do with that. You might run into some issues or setbacks, or, you know, if you're not doing what needs to be done in those areas, you might be repeating it. if you're born at night, you might find this more problematic than if you're born during the day. But yeah, Saturn, you've just kind of got to knuckle under and do the work.
Saturn is the, buckle down and, do the work that you're supposed to. And, in the ninth house is the higher education, and it's the world's view. You're looking at not just your community, but you're looking at how everything affects the
Yeah.
world, the people on the world, everybody, more
Mm.
than you would, yeah, more than when it's hitting in your third house. But in your ninth house is a more of a worldly view, and how you view foreigners as well. So
Yeah.
I would think this would have a lot to do with the rules of foreigners.
I'm thinking this would be a good time to start out on some higher education, get that degree, get that master's or whatever higher certification you need to kind of take you further, so that when Saturn does move on to the 10th house, career and public reputation, you've got those credentials. Or it could be to do with beliefs or all those sorts of things. The law, this would not be a good time to try and flout the law. It's about rules and regulations. Yeah, and then we have Pluto. Pluto is about transformation. It's about making big things small, small things big. It's very much Phoenix from the flames. It's kind of tearing down the old to rebuild. Can be about depth and honesty. Can be about power plays. It's can be difficult energy. It's when it's making contact with your more personal planets, it can be quite challenging, but that's how it goes. It's been in Capricorn since 2008. It's going to dip into Aquarius from the 23rd of March, but it's not finished with Capricorn. It's going to dip back into Capricorn a couple of times. It'll do that in 2023, and it'll do it again in 2024, just at the very end degrees of Capricorn. But between 23rd of March and the 11th of June, it will be in Aquarius. So we'll get a taste of what Pluto and Aquarius will be like.
Yeah, it's been in your seventh house for since 2008, like Lynda had said. And you have felt this, it's a little bit uncomfortable. Pluto is meant to not be comfortable. Pluto is meant to say, this doesn't work and this needs to go out. So that's the energy of Pluto. So it's not comfortable to go through it. But is necessary for growth. So whatever, you can't keep putting things in your closet. You need to take some things out and get rid of them to make room for the new stuff. And although Pluto in a seventh house might be rough, I can see that in order to grow, you need to it Pluto is asking for you to change up some ideas that you might have about the seventh house, and it will be challenging to get you to shift, but necessary for growth.
Yeah, yeah,
And you'll be thinking more about the things that are the eighth house topics, such as wills and your spouse's or significant other's money and that type of thing. That's where the Pluto shift is going from a significant other to other people's money. So that's where this growth is happening for Cancers.
yeah, yeah. It'll be nice to get that out of your seventh house, 'cause it's been sitting there kind of causing probably quite a bit of tension at times in relationships, but going into the eighth is a difficult house. It's no point sugarcoating it. It can be a difficult house. Yeah. It could be issues to do with death and mortality come up during, and I keep meaning to check. I'm not sure how long Pluto is going to be in Aquarius, but Pluto's in a sign anything from 14 to 30 years. So it's going to be a significant amount of time. And it's not going to be like the whole 14 years or 30 years or however long it is. It's not going to be, horrible the whole time. Pluto's always somewhere. It's got to be somewhere. But, particularly if it's making close aspects to your planets, trine, sextile, square, opposition, conjunction, that's when you're going to feel it. So, yeah, it's issues to do with shared finances and resources, death and mortality over the next, however many years. Those are going to be coming, I suppose, the transformative areas of your life going forward.
Right. Yeah. It'll be there for at least 15 years, so get comfortable with it. Snuggle in, invited in. Yeah. And then Jupiter, we're starting with the benefics. So this will be going, Jupiter is the greater benefic. It brings expanse and it brings, it tries to make things bigger. Whatever it is that's it's wanting to give to you, it's trying to make it bigger. And Jupiter is in a house. It does not travel like Mercury and Venus, where it travels really, really fast. It's only going to be in two signs. It's only going to be in Aries and Taurus for this year. And it's going to move into Taurus May 16th. And that's when you'll feel the shift of it going from Aries into Taurus.
Yeah, it's been in your 10th house, which is your career and public reputation. So wherever Jupiter and Venus, which is the other benefic, are, they tend to bring good things or, can bring kind of gifts or benefits. So you might have been quite lucky regarding career matters or public reputation, rewards and honors. And, Jupiter makes us enthusiastic and optimistic. So yeah, Korea's probably been quite good. It dipped into the 9th house for a little while in 2022 when it dipped back into Pisces, but we were all very happy about that because Pisces is ruled by Jupiter traditionally, so it was a good place for it to be. But yeah, Jupiter in Aries up until looks like the 16th of May, good for Korea. Then it's going to go into your groups, friends, and organizations. And this is really good because Jupiter, it really likes being in the 11th house. It's a house of its joy. So really nice to have it there. So yeah, you might expand your friends of groups. You might be making new friends and they're, expansive. They might be able to help you in some way in your career or just generally speaking, might be able to help you with your hopes and dreams. So nice house placement for Jupiter.
Very nice. Yeah. Yeah.
And it'll be
going
there.
from
Sorry, I was going to say it'll be there till the 25th of May, 2024. So you got a full year there. Jupiter will retrograde because Jupiter retrogrades every year, but nice house placement. You got the lucky spot this year. So nice.
between what you're known for and your groups. I mean, it's those two houses where it's just, bouncing back and forth are some really good houses for Jupiter to be in for sure. And then Venus, her transits that in the houses that she will be in, she will move into Aquarius January 2nd, and she's going to be moving into your 8th house. And it's even though it's 8th house is not normally a good house, with the benefic in there, it makes it a little bit nicer. So other people's money might become a gift to you.
Yeah,
and that's
you
going to
might
be
benefit
in your
through a partner.
Yeah.
Yep.
Till January 22nd, 26th.
So from the 26th of January to 20th of February, Venus will be in Pisces. Venus is exalted here, so really nice position for Pisces, and this is going to be in your 9th house. So 9th house is higher education, it's overseas travel, it's foreigners, it's other beliefs and cultures, it's esoteric subjects, it's religion, it's law, It's publishing. So really nice. Maybe you fall in love with somebody who's from a different culture or different country from you, or maybe you're, receive some sort of gift regarding these subjects. Maybe it's just harmonious times with people from other countries, other cultures. Maybe if you're in higher education, whether you're studying or teaching or whatever, just a harmonious time, really nice time.
Yeah. And then on February 20th, it's going to be moving into your 10th house of Aries, and or the your 10th house of reputation in your job and your career. And this is going to be the house of Aries for this year. Not her best place. She will be in detriment there. Um, but it's still a benefic, and so
Mhm.
I would expect some nice things happening with your house of career or
Yeah.
reputation.
Venus can often bring charm, and that when I see Venus in the 10th, I often think charming, able to schmooze well with everyone. But I'm thinking Venus in Aries, she's kind of like pushy, but she's charming with it.
Charmingly bushy.
Might be good for salespeople.
There you go.
And then we have Venus in Taurus in your 11th house from the 16th of March to the 11th of April. So this is nice. This is groups, friends, and organizations. This is your hopes and dreams. So, yeah, there could be a romance with somebody that you meet through friends or through groups you're involved with. It's also people might be able to assist you with hopes and dreams, or just, you know, just a nice, this is nice, harmonious. This is good time to be hanging out with groups, to be catching up with friends, to be networking. Just very nice. And I mean, Venus and Taurus, Taurus is ruled by Venus, so she's in dignity here.
A good time. So April 11th, Venus will be moving into Gemini, and this is your 12th house. So she'll give you kindness, in doing those things, those in that internal work, the things that you might want to like go off into a cabin and, write a book or start a book or whatever. This could also be, it is the house of your undoing. So, and Venus, I hate to say it, but Venus can give things that you might not want too much of, like drink or that kind of thing. So it
My
could
mind
be a
went
little bit of
somewhere
that.
else. I'm thinking Venus in the 12th, secret or hidden affairs. And then you're talking about giving you things that you don't want.
Oh, it could be that.
Because
Yeah, the gambit
venereal
is really open.
diseases come from Venus.
Venus, yes, she is
Uh,
in charge of those.
mhm.
So yeah, so those would be the things, if you are in a position like that, you would want to be particularly mindful of
Oh, goodness.
between April 11th and May 7th.
And then from the 7th of May to the 5th of June, Venus is going to be in Cancer. So she'll be in your first house. This is going to be a really nice house, a really nice time to be buying new clothing, beautifying yourself in some way, improving your image. People are likely to find you charming. This is the house all about you, how people see you. So, yeah, Venus in Cancer, she's not especially strong, but she's not in detriment. She's not in fall. So, yeah, nice time. People find you easy to get along with at this time, usually.
Very nice. Yeah. And so the next sign that you're going to run into, where Venus is going to run into, is going to be Leo. And she's going to be there from June 5th to October 8th. And in that period, now this is going to be your second house. So this is going to have a lot to do with your finances, but this is where Venus retrogrades. And I've had the a malefic retrograde in my second house, and it's just a lot. I can't imagine that Virgo's or Venus is going to be much different acting. It's still going to be a very busy time because it's going to be in there for so long. And I think that's where it seems like it's there for a long time. Although being a benefic, would be bringing you good things, as far as your finances, what you use to, what you value, what you use for security, those type of things. It will be retrograding in your house of finances from June 5th to September 3rd, October 7th. So yeah.
She'll be
It's gonna be,
retrograde from the 22nd of July to 3rd of September. Yeah.
yeah, it's gonna feel like a long time that she's in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as a benefic, I'd rather have that in my second house.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm thinking while Venus retrograde in the second house, which it will be for our Cancer ascendants, possibly, maybe you'll be reevaluating values to do with like your possessions, income, resources. Do you need these things in your life? Those sorts of questions. Is this income really worth it if you don't get to spend time on this, that, or the other, or if it doesn't bring you fulfillment or something. Those are kind of topics that might come up during that Venus retrograde, because Venus retrograde can be about our affections and our relationships, but it's also our values. So
Yeah,
and then
and what we value.
from the 8th of October to the 4th of November, Venus will be in Virgo, where she's in fall. So she's not particularly strong in this sign, but it will be in your third house. So this is siblings, this is your local neighborhood, it's your neighbors, it's extended family like cousins and aunts, uncles, it's short distance travel, it's early education, and it's short courses, stuff like that. And it's communication in general. So yeah, charming, harmonious, good time to be, catching up with siblings or extended family, good time to catch up with neighbors, or, putting your best foot forward. But, she's in Virgo, so she's going to be a little bit, I'm going to say, pedantic at times. So yeah, she can be a bit nitpicky, so she's going to be charming, but she's going to be particular about it.
Very nice. Yeah, and then November 8th, Venus will be moving into Libra. And that's her own sign. She rules that. It'll be your fourth house. So this will be a beautification project around your home, as well as your family lineage. You could get a benefit from your family lineage as well.
Yeah,
It's a
good
good
time
time.
to
It's a,
be
it's a good,
good
yeah,
time to be spending with parents too, I imagine.
sure.
Or maybe real estate matters would be beneficial at this time. That'd be nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah, because Venus is going to bring you the good things, no matter what the subject is.
And from the 4th of December to the 29th of December, Venus is going to be in Scorpio, which is a sign of her detriment. So she's not working as well as she could be here, but she's in your fifth house. She likes being in the fifth house. This is the house of her joy. It's also a really fun house. So this is children, this is romance, this is hobbies, socializing, it's creativity. This is just a really fun time. It's coming up to the holiday season, just a really fun time.
And then Venus will be moving into Sagittarius, your sixth house, on December 29th. And, that's going to be where you want to, make sure that you're spending the time at your, in your day-to-day, in your service to others. This will also have to do with a benefic to, as far as pets are concerned. You might you might either be acquiring a pet, or a pet for those people who have cats might have presents that cats leave. If you have an indoor outdoor cat. I only have an indoor cat, so I don't know. But yeah, these would be the times where your pets would be doing good things for you. Maybe your workplace could also be a benefit in your health, with the sixth house is in charge of your health as well. So
Yeah.
a very nice time, nice things. Now, the
And
eclipses, they are going to be, we have 4 of them this year, as Lynda has said before. And it's going to happen in your 10th and your 5th house for the spring ones. April 20th is going to be the solar eclipse, and that's going to happen at 29 degrees Aries. And if you think back to about 18 years ago, that's when these axes are being triggered or hit. So think back then to what you were doing, and it might give you a clue of what these eclipses will happen about. The solar eclipses are those things that happen more outwardly, and where the lunar eclipse on May 5th is going to happen at 14 degrees Scorpio, and you might see things that are more internal changes.
yeah, that 10th house, because eclipses can eclipse people in or out. And they're often sudden, shocking, kind of change your direction a little bit. So with that first one, 20th of April in the 10th house, could be shake up of career somehow, could be new boss, could be new job, could be fame, recognition, rewards. Lunar eclipse in the 5th is interesting.
How do we feel about our children?
I'm just trying to think. I know I had my first child. I don't think whether it was not long after a lunar eclipse or a solar eclipse in my 5th. I can't remember. But lunar eclipses are usually associated with endings, but it's not like, oh, there can be no new beginnings in that area, and solar and lunar eclipses always travel together. They're always 2 weeks apart. With eclipses, you can, they can extend out. Things can happen a month before, a month after, at the very least, if not, But with that first solar eclipse in Aries, that's the beginning of the 10th and 4th house. So you've been having eclipse over the 5th and the 11th. So children, creativity, friends, groups, organizations, all the things that you do for fun for yourself and with others. And it's moving. We're slowly moving to 10th and 4th. So career, public reputation, and home and family. So yeah, maybe for some, it could be a surprise pregnancy or, a birth if you're already pregnant, obviously. But yeah, maybe you think that you're finished with children and you're not quite yet. Who knows? And then on the 14th of October, we've got a solar eclipse in the 4th house. This will be the first Libra eclipse we have. So that will be interesting. 4th house could be to do with real estate, could be to do with parents, living situation. So, yeah. And then the lunar eclipse on the 28th of October at 5 Taurus. This will be the absolute last of the Taurus Scorpio eclipses for a little while. And that will be in the 11th house. So matters to do with groups, friends, organizations, hopes and dreams. Those are kind of winding up at this time, during 2023. And more of the focus on work and or public reputation and home are going to be more significant over the next 18 months or so.
Very interesting for sure.
It
Yeah,
will be.
and it's that you can see that progression from the 5th 11th to the 4th 10th. It's that
Yeah,
that
it'll be
change.
interesting.
Very nice.
So that's the Cancer 2023 year ahead horoscopes. We've only just briefly touched on a few topics there, the big ones for the year. We do new and full moon horoscopes during the year, every 2 weeks, and we also have a look, see what the planets are doing when they're entering new signs, the aspects they make. So if you're not already subscribed, it'd be a good idea to subscribe if you'd like to be kept up to date with that. We really like comments. So if you're, watching this a little bit later in the year and it's like, oh, this happened, we'd love to hear from you. Yeah. And Donna, where can people find you and what services are you offering?
You can get a hold of me through my website, donnabastrology.com. I have my contact information there. I do year ahead, horary, natal readings, electional, and I also work with crystals and supportive care for health reasons. So, and Lynda, what are you doing and where can people get a hold of you?
I do natal readings, which is looking at your birth chart, telling you, what we see there, your strengths, your weaknesses. I do relationship readings, so comparing two people's charts and how they interact, and year ahead, so looking ahead, seeing, what you need to watch out for, what looks to be a good time for different topics. And I'm at Scullywag Astrology. That's astrology.scullywag.com.
Wonderful.
Mhm. So thank you for listening, and good luck, Cancer. You've got some good things going on there.
Be an interesting year. Happy New Year, Cancers.
Thank you. Bye-bye.